Good evening everyone, my name is Gary. I'm recording this video today because today is Time to Talk Day for mental health, and I'm a great advocate I believe it should be talked about. The reason I'm putting this on LinkedIn, I did question whether it was the right place to put it, with it being a professional network, but apparently according to something I read today, 70 million days are lost every year in the UK of work due to either stress, anxiety or depression. So it's probably actually really relevant. And I do think certainly in certain workplaces it is a taboo that people don't talk about, and I've seen people suffer in silence. And I'm coming out there today and basically saying I'm going to talk about it. And yeah, so that's where I am. Now, where I work at the moment, I'm a sales manager for a Suzuki dealership in Rugby in the West Midlands, and I have a small team of people that work for me. They like me, I'm jolly, I'm quite outgoing with them, and they can always come and talk to me. I like to think anyway. I'm not one of these shouty managers or anything. I've got two children, two healthy young boys, one's 6 and one's 12. So, you know, on the surface of everything's pretty good. But one thing I do live with on a daily basis is anxiety and depression. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it anymore. I used to be. I used to deal with it, deny it, live with it in silence, suffer quite badly. Don't get me wrong, I still suffer now, but it certainly helps talking about it and accepting it. A couple of years ago, I got really low, and my partner convinced me I need to sort it out. It was ruining my life, it was ruining my kids' life, it was becoming like another person in the family, effectively. I wasn't violent or anything like that with it, but I was certainly very stepped back from reality, if you like. I'm now in a situation where I take medication daily to basically quieten everything down, for want of a better phrase. However, it doesn't change me into a different person. It just means I can basically think a lot clearer. I'm really recording this video because I want people to have an understanding of what it's like, because there's a lot of common misconceptions about how people feel in this situation. I mean, apparently 1 in 4 people suffer with depression or anxiety every year. 17% of the population in the UK suffer from it, so it's quite common, but there is still a large proportion out there who don't understand it or know about it, or maybe have not experienced someone close to them who have it. So I just wanted to give people an insight really into how we feel really, but also on top of that as well, discuss how we feel as well, because you might be watching this and thinking, is this me? Am I going through this? And if what I've been through and what I'm talking now can help you, then that'd be great. So what I've decided to do is make a little list to go through with you of 10 things that it feels like living with clinical anxiety and a little bit of depression to be thrown in. And apparently, because it's fashionable to do things like in this video, I've made number cards. Look at that. Sponsored by G3 Glasscoat, because it's my nearest notepad. So, number 1. Stressing and overcomplicating simple tasks in our mind. We have a habit of basically overrunning everything, overplaying every scenario, and it does mean that sometimes we perform stressful tasks a little bit slow. It may come across that we're lazy or we're slow to do things. It's actually completely opposite. We're actually taking a bit of extra care. So that's something to bear in mind. Number 2, kind of falls on from that really. We overplay every scenario before it happens, in its various connotations, and we tend to experience the failure each time it happens, and we feel that emotionally. We pretty much practice fear and failure in advance in every condition available, which in itself, as you can imagine, is quite stressful. Number 3, that's bad 3, that is, terrible handwriting. You can start to feel detached from not only those close to you, but also from yourself. Somebody might say something and it triggers a feeling, or sometimes you may not be happy with how you're reacting with stuff, and it makes you step back from the other people, but also from yourself, and you start to feel quite numb. at the end of the day, you probably start to feel in your head somewhere that if you move away from that person or from yourself, they can't hurt you. Maybe right or wrong, but that's the way that you tend to get into your head, and that's almost why you distance yourself from your own personality and other people. It shouldn't be seen as offence if you're that person. It's just a really poor coping mechanism. We know it's wrong, but we can't always switch that off. Number 4, we get anxiety. Put my teeth back in. We get anxiety about our anxiety stopping us becoming the person that we should and want to become. We're fully aware that we're suffering from it. We know that we've got potential in our lives. We strive for that, but we're also carrying this burden with us as well. And we do worry that that burden is holding us back. I certainly do at times, and it is certainly a daily battle with certain things. Number 5, we experience multiple emotions simultaneously, which makes us uncontrollably dormant, I think is the best way to explain it. It may appear that we don't care about stuff. It's actually the opposite. It's almost like the fear of failure, of missing something, but no energy to fix it. Wanting to be alone but not lonely, caring about everything but not being able to express it. The feelings of love, fear, happiness and disappointment, but feeling paralysingly numb because you can't quantify these properly because you're experiencing them all at the same time. I mean, an example could be, you could tell me that I'd won the lottery today. And that'd be obviously a great thing. It's quite a life-changing thing, I imagine. Something I'm not going to get to experience because I don't even play the lottery, so that's something that's not going to help from start. But an equal measure of the euphoria of having that life-changing experience, I'd be panicking about how it may change me, how others may see me, perceive me, and how maybe I'm not deserving enough. So it'd outweigh it in equal measure, and it'd basically mean I wouldn't care about it. So basically at times we may appear very placid, but actually we're probably going through a lot more emotions than you can see. And we're also basically trying to keep a lid on all the shit that's going on up there. Right, where's my little things gone? There we go, got too involved then. Number 6. As we're freaking out, we know we're freaking out. We know there's no reason to freak out, but we lack the ability to shut the emotion down. And it's not through the lack of wanting to, neither. In fact, that makes us anxious that we can't. And we play scenarios off that as well. Basically, we want it to shut down, but however much we try, we can't. Number 7, it's exhausting. It actually really tires you out being depressed and anxious about things. If it burned calories, I'd be slimmer than Kate Moss, I guarantee it. But I'm not. I've got a man bod. Actually, that's one thing I'm not too anxious about. Apparently, it's back in this year anyway. But there we go. Number 8. We can often look back and find a trigger point to where we felt normal, and we can see where effectively we broke. Our strength before that was very much external. You know, we came across as strong people. Now, we may not appear strong, but the strength's actually acting inside. I certainly can pick out the points where I lost my strength, and it's inside now. I think some of it comes from, and most people say the same in this situation, it's from trying to cope for too long, basically. And it's often as simple as that. It's often taking too much on your shoulders, carrying too much for too long. Number 9, because of the last reasons really, and also, you know, the anxiety of playing out different situations, meetings, phone calls, unknown situations, visits to new places, meeting new people, can feel as intense inside as grieving someone. It's the knots, it's the sinking feeling. I've had it prepared for this video. It took me an hour to actually press the record button. You wouldn't think so, probably now, because I'm just getting on with it. I don't think I'm coming across too shy or anything like that, but it's actually taken me quite a lot to do this at the moment. I've got a heat lamp on as well right next to me, which isn't helping, but there we go. Number 10, we all know it's irrational. We do wish we could switch off the anxiety and depression. I certainly do. It'd make my days a lot easier. Speaking for myself and others, I'm sure if there was anything we could do just to switch it off, we would do it. In fact, I'd probably get a bit anxious about that I can't turn the switch off. So yeah, that's my 10 reasons really. My 10 things that basically you need to either look at in yourself or look at in other people. Why have I recorded this video? Is it about attention? Yes, but not for me. It's more for other people to raise awareness. Is it a cry for help? Yes, again, but not for me. I think it's important that people see help if they felt the way that I felt in the past or others. And I just want my personal experiences to see if I can help people. As I say, I'm on medication at the moment. I'm trying my best to get help. I use different processes. It quite downs my thoughts. But all I'd say is if you can relate to any of this at all, please seek help. Whether it be someone you can talk to close or whether you see a doctor or a counsellor, there's absolutely no shame in it at all. I was worried about a stigma behind it and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't bother me anymore, hence I'm recording this video. There's bigger things going on in the world than worrying about what someone thinks about what's going on in here. It's all about making sure you've got the best care for yourself. I mean, there's kids dying in Africa, there's a plastic island floating around in the Pacific as big as Texas, and I was sat there worrying about what people thought of me going on in there when actually I was just making myself worse. So yeah, a little bit of perspective there, I suppose. If you're watching this and you think someone's suffering from this, gently get them to talk about it, but bear in mind what you say to people, because if they are suffering like I have and others do, they will basically blow things out of proportion in their own head potentially. Just encourage them to get help, and more importantly than that is they need to accept where they are, and if you can help them get acceptance, it will help their path to recovery. I've gone on for over 12 minutes about this, but yeah, as I say, I'm recording this because of what today is. I am putting it on LinkedIn, as I say, because I think it is relevant to, people who have jobs get anxiety and depression, and obviously I've read out that statistic to you earlier as well. So I think it is completely relevant. If anyone begs to differ, I don't particularly care, but if one person gets something out of this video, then that'd be great. Just a couple of things to leave you with. If you do feel like you want to get any help, I started with my doctors. There's plenty of charities out there such as Time to Change, which is backed up by Mind and Rethink Mental Illness, who is doing the Time to Talk Day today. Also as well, there's also an organisation which I thought's got a very good website. It's called CALM, Campaign Against Living Miserably. It's basically aimed at young men because apparently the statistic is that suicide is the biggest killer of men under 45 in the UK. Forget cancer, forget anything else. It's suicide. That's not good. That needs to stop. I'm sure we'll all agree. And their website's got some really good material on it. I hope at least one of you that's watched this has got something out of this video today. I'm going to say goodbye now. So enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good evening.